friend just got engaged. I've spent 3 days crying about it. My friend, 26M, of 13 years, and the only boy I've ever loved just got engaged, and I, 25F, am devastated. I met this boy when I was a teenager as we went to the same school. He became my best friend instantly. For years we'd talk for hours on end every day, if not at least a few times a week. He was the one I ran to when anything went wrong. He's the only one I've ever spoken to from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. non-stop, not once but dozens of times. He supported me and cheered me on with all my academic achievements, as I did him. I told him absolutely everything, always. He was my confidant and I was his. When we were younger we'd joke about marriage and kids. For years I knew how I felt about him, but I took time for advantage. I always thought things would stay the same between us forever. I loved him so much, why wouldn't we be close forever? I was naive. Fast forward a decade and I noticed he was starting to act differently. Responses shorter and rarely initiated conversation anymore. I figured out he was seeing someone and it was someone he had just met recently. I had her on social media and I destroyed my self-esteem comparing myself to her. When I found out they broke up I finally, after roughly 10 years, told him how I'd felt. It was awful timing though as he was on a holiday. I eventually unsent my message. My self-esteem once again took a massive hit. The following year we discussed my feelings again. He made it very clear respectfully and gently that he'd always considered me just a friend and like a younger sister. Over the next few years we went long periods without speaking, once was 9 months, another time 6 months. I missed him and how things were, but I ruined everything between us by telling him how I felt, but I couldn't have kept it in anymore, it was eating me up so much. He no longer felt comfortable to reach out to me and I was scared of messing things up again, so we just drifted further and further away. I always still thought he'd come back as we always did to one another. We did catch up a few times and when we did it was as if nothing had changed, but beyond that we just didn't talk at all. Last week he posted his engagement photo on Instagram. I've cried every day since. Shit, writing this post has me in tears. His fiancée is so beautiful, just like he is. I did end up sending him a nice message BC. I wanted him to feel loved and supported by me as his longtime friend. I made sure not to give him any inkling of how heartbroken I was BC. I want him to be happy. I don't know what to do now though. I've thought about him, and loved him and cared about him deeply every single day for 13 years. He is the only boy I've ever loved. He was all I ever wanted. I would have married him at 18 if he wanted to. And now he's going to have a wife and nothing will ever be the same again. Should I delete him off everything? Should I go to therapy? Should I pretend everything's fine and just catch up with him once a year but otherwise keep a distance? Do I just leave it and never talk to him again and tell him I'm busy when he invites me to his wedding? I know for a fact he wouldn't want me cutting him off permanently. I truly and wholeheartedly wish him all the best and want all the happiness, success and love in the world for him. I just wish I could have been good enough. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Disappointed face, broken heart, broken heart.